once Lynn had mentioned about, like, because we were talking here in the Foxton about this round table concept, she started to mention about like seeing the birth chart in that manner. And I really feel that that really helped me to like get a better grasp on what aspects of myself, what parts of myself could have been split off, and with what parts could be just in need of, like, this reconnection, and also, yeah, what and how to, I guess, facilitate this relationship. I don't know if you, Lynn, have anything to add to that regarding, how astrology can be a very, yeah, helpful for this process of reintegration.
Yeah.
Well, we can approach it by thinking of like a birth chart where you can see it includes all the different zodiac signs, and then it contains the placements of the south and north node of the moon, and then all the planets and the sun and moon. And they are in these different signs, and these signs represent different energies that are like the basic natural forces of our universe that they represent. So by learning about these different, what these different zodiac signs symbolize, then we can learn about like these different placements in our chart, what they stand for. And then the more we learn about it, then we can see like, oh, I haven't really integrated this part of myself, or here's my Chiron, so or here's my Saturn, and that's usually like some of the challenging placements. Like those might be something that we need to overcome and um, learn to be our own authority or our own healer of something. And the placement shows like what kind of energy we need to heal. So it's like it can really hone us in on what parts we need to look at and heal. So it can be very useful in that sense. But there is a little bit of a learning curve if you do want to do it yourself. Then I would recommend Rasa Lila Healing Astro School, or I guess you can get a reading from some nice astrologer to help you to that can explain to you about these different parts and learn about that. But that's basically how I see it, anyways. And one thing to look at would be the house position of your Pluto, because the Pluto placement is kind of like our soul, and the whole generations have it in the same sign, but then according to your exact birth time, then it's also in a house, which represents one of the signs too. So then it shows a more individual energy of your soul. But also, like, our generation has this um, similar flavor. I think
Yeah.
me and Bas, we are Pluto Scorpio generation.
Mm-hmm. True.
Mm.
Yeah. But then the individual house position of Pluto for me is Virgo, and I had really repressed that. And um, by looking more into astrology and by having a mini reading, uh, I then that really helped me to bring that back in a good way. Because when I had repressed it, it was like a negative kind of perfectionism. But then when I became aware of that, like, whoa, this is the negative Virgo stuff, then I could like become more aware of it and and
Yeah.
learn to integrate more the healthy kind of like, yes, I'm refining things. I want to keep making things better, but I don't have to be so hard on myself, and I don't need to be perfect because no one really is. So I
True.
don't need to be that harsh.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a round table kind of idea where, there's all these aspects of oneself, these parts of oneself, including all these exiles that then can come together and sit at this round table and become like a part of it again, where you as ego consciousness can sit at and have this kind of build this relationship with these different aspects, and also between these different aspects as well, so they can feel more safe. Yeah.
Compassion.
But yeah, compassion, yes, definitely. It's very important in that you don't want to be too harsh on these different parts of oneself. And compassion is very, indeed, very important in that. It's even in the journeys too. It's like I sometimes I fight like a complex Dan, and then rescue this inner this exiled part. But it's very much about compassion and to create this safe container for oneself. I feel, and to allow like more of that like full expression of oneself to be able to flourish, and with that through that reintegration also reconnect to this inner vitality as well. But even with that, I feel like the practice of like these things such as qigong are still like important to keep ourselves windy regarding that.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah.
I regarding still the kind of like the zodiac as the round table.
Yeah.
In Astro school, I've been learning about all these different astrological signs, and like in a way, I've been learning about the kind of unintegrated version,
Yeah.
the kind of detached version of these energies, and then the integrated one, like for each energy. And that has been very helpful, kind of like to see like to recognize in myself like what parts seem to be integrated and what parts still need to be integrated, because then I can, because it's like explained how it would look like uh,
Yeah.
in actions or thinking or words, like if it wasn't balanced or integrated, so then it's easier to recognize it. So that's one very helpful tool been for me
Yeah.
to learn about those all.
What aspects should we look into the uh, natal chart to know this? The North Node, Chiron, and you mentioned another one.
One challenging one is usually Saturn, but like one the most subconscious part of your chart is usually the house of Pluto. It's
Mm.
one to look at too, definitely. And south and north node, I guess, because
Yeah.
south node is where you're kind of coming from, where you have already evolved, and north node of the moon is where you're wanting to evolve towards in this life.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Mm.
Hmm. And I kind
That's
of
very
And
useful.
yeah, it is very much so. And I've kind of been for myself like mapping this onto different like Jungian archetypes that I noticed, and I've been using that particular lens, on top of it, for myself, because that's kind of like how I work with it. Everyone has kind of, I suppose, their own way of doing that, but definitely with that as well, I've been looking at the unintegrated, but also the integrated version of these different archetypes, and also kind of seeing like through these aspects that they make to each other, so the different planets making these different aspects to each other. I've been looking at like, so how to build these kind of like inner alliances in a way, so so these archetypal energies within me, they make contact, and to really see like, okay, so what energies could I try to bring together to help these different parts of myself to be more present, and kind of feel like with the building of relationship, between with these different aspects, like and the inner child, kind of feel like it's not just just the relationship, but it's about of these different parts being able to be present, and with that ourselves to really be able to be present in the moment, in like in our full expression, where we're in touch with our emotions, our instincts, intellect, all these different parts of ourselves.
Yeah, and they are all represented by the different planets.
Yeah. Or these different archetypes, you can see it like that too. But I also kind of feel with regarding to that, it's not just it's not just about this, in an inner sense, through, for instance, active imagination to create this inner round table. But I kind of feel like it's also as important to take this into like a more physical way as well, where you're sitting around like a kind of a round table, and to really like be able to connect to other people as well and to be able to express all of these different parts. So I guess in sense with other people, but also maybe also just in the way we do things. And, for instance, if a particular thing would be connected to art, to be able to do that, and to honor that part of ourselves in that way, to do what's there. And it does require, I feel like, to really like take the time to listen to ourselves, and to be like listen to our body, and to listen to like what's important to us, as much as all the other general stuff that we always have to do, like food and all of these things.
And to notice like what's not working as well, what's working, what's not working.
No,
And
definitely.
to protect ourselves from what's not helping us heal.
Yeah,